Mtazamaji wa NDIBATALK, naitwa Gertrude Ndibalema. Ni mara nyingine tena ndani ya Star TV kila siku ya Jumanne saa 1 kamili tukizungumza masuala mbalimbali ambayo yanaelimisha na kufundisha jamii yetu ya Kitanzania. Tunasema uhalisia wetu, mazungumzo yetu. Leo katika NDIBATALK nimeamua nimtafute mwakilishi mkazi wa shirika la International Organization of Migration nchini Tanzania, lakini hili ni shirika la Umoja wa Mataifa, tukiangalia masuala yote ya uhamiaji na ndani yake tukichambua masuala ya uhamiaji haramu. Hili ni janga la Tanzania, janga la Afrika, lakini na dunia nzima. Linasababishwa na nini? Kwa nini watu wanafikia hatua ya kuwa wahamiaji, hasa wahamiaji haramu? Niko na Dr. Qasim Sufi. Yeye ni mwakilishi mkazi wa hili shirika la International Organization for Migration Tanzania. Welcome to the NDIBATALK.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. Karibu sana.
For inviting me.
Thank you. Lugha yangu kidogo leo itabadilika. Nitakuwa nikiongea Kiswahili lakini na Kiingereza kwa asilimia kubwa. Lengo tu ni kufikisha ujumbe tuweze kuelewa ni kitu gani ambacho tunakizungumza hapa ndani ya kipindi chetu cha leo. Dr. Qasim, this is NDIBATALK and we are here to talk about your organization. And our conversation will be based mostly on migration and human trafficking. But before of that, maybe the people who are watching NDIBATALK now through Star TV, they will like to know what is IOM, International Organization for Migration, and how was establishing this worldwide and Tanzania especially.
Thank you so much, Gertrude, and for inviting me. Actually, I'm very pleased to be with you here today, to have this occasion, to talk to Tanzanians and non-Tanzanians in the country about IOM, about IOM works, and especially that we just celebrated yesterday about the Day for Anti-Human Trafficking. IOM stands, as you correctly said, International Organization for Migration. IOM was born in 1951, immediately after the Second World War. Actually, its headquarters is in Geneva, in Switzerland. In 2016, IOM fully joined the United Nations. So, in September 2016, IOM officially became the United Nations Migration Agency, which means IOM is responsible for safe migration and all migrants. As you know, migration is one of the biggest challenges of this century, of 21st century. Many people actually are on move, moving from their places of origin to seek better future and better existence in other places. So IOM, in summary, is the United Nations Migration Agency, which has got its headquarters in Geneva, and it's responsible for migrants and safe migration, if I could summarize that way.
Okay.
In Tanzania, maybe if I can say when IOM opened its offices in Tanzania, it's 1998. So it is more than 2 decades. Actually, it's 20 years old, IOM in Tanzania. And it is present both in the mainland as well as in Zanzibar. IOM is a full member of the United Nations country team, which is made here, is a big, relatively, not relatively, it's a big United Nations country team, made for more than 16 United Nations agencies. And we try to deliver as one, what we say, because every UN agency has got its own mandate, but now the motto is really to deliver as one.
So there is any relation between United Nations and International Organization for Migration?
No, it is the same. It's IOM. That was international organization until 2016 only. But then 2016 fully joined IOM, became a UN migration agency. And because even before that, many member states wanted actually IOM to join, but some of them were against IOM to join the United Nations. But in 2016, finally everybody agreed. Every member state, actually, IOM has got many member states in the whole world. Is almost part of, especially Africa. There's only one country that is not a member of IOM.
Okay. Which country?
Not like to disclose. Okay. So because, as you know, as I said initially, migration became really an issue of the 21st century, because people are on move, as you may have heard, or as we see every day. I mean, many African migrants trying to reach Europe through the Mediterranean, many boats capsizing, many migrants dying. Not only that, you had a lot of people, for example, moving from their places of origin towards South Africa, and so there's a lot of migration actually, because of the main reason actually why people are leaving their places of origin is poverty, as per many studies, but also lately also the changing of climate, actually change of climate, that their places is becoming dry and they are going to look for better places. Not only that, but there are also wars, as you know.
I think wars is the main cause for migration.
Of course, making people to work, but it's also people do not have jobs. For example, you complete your studies, you are a doctor, you are an engineer, you have a profession, but you don't find a job. So then you look for another place to go and get a job, so that you can make some some earnings to survive and to support your families. So in general, actually, IOM two major strategies are to address the root causes of migration, the pushing factors that are pushing people to leave their places. But of course, then if these migrants who are moving on the move, if they land in trouble, also to support them then, or to save their lives, because most of the time people really land in trouble, because in general we have a regular migration and irregular migration. Regular migration is when someone gets all what is needed to move from one point to another point, from point A to point B.
So International Organization for Migration stick in regular migration or irregular migration?
Absolutely. A very pertinent question. Actually, IOM promotes regular migration. IOM is against irregular migration, but unfortunately, this is not something that you can stop in one day. You need really to sensitize people and and many actions. Also, not only to sensitize people, not only talking, but creating the possibilities for people to remain at their places, in their places of origin. So as I said, IOM promotes the regular migration. It means, let's say you want to go to another country, you want to go to South Africa, for example, or you need first of all to get a visa, and then to get a ticket, or if you are going by road, the same thing, air ticket or a bus ticket or a train ticket, and the means that are going to use, and so far and so forth. While irregular migration actually is, there are these people that we call, traffickers. They could be also smugglers. So these traffickers, normally they are people who really give people wrong information. For example, they promise you fake promises or empty promises that they will take you to, I don't know, a different country where you will make a lot of money and but at the end of the day, when they bring you to that destination, after you have maybe paid a lot of money, you are promised, I don't know, to be a professional person, to exercise your profession, but then you are asked to complete something that is against your will. So this is the major problem actually that we are having in human trafficking.
Maybe the people who are watching NDIBATALK now, they would like to know what is the importance of the vision of International Organization for Migration in our country or in worldwide, because each country they have embassy office. For what extent you play part different with embassy office which is there inside of the country?
IOM actually, in each country that is a member state of IOM has got an office. Actually.
Yeah, because if I want to go to America, I can use American embassy.
Exactly. You can go. So this is what we promote. This is what we educate people. Actually, one of the strategies and main strategies to combat trafficking in person is really to educate people. To really tell them how to go about it. So this is what I was mentioning. right from the beginning is to sensitize people, to tell people, look, the right way is not to go and someone to tell you, look, I have American visa, or I don't know, European visa, any visa which could be fake. I mean, there are ways how to get information about it. So each embassy has got a consular section, what we call that, provides all the necessary information. So IOM advocates for people really to follow this channel, the normal channel, how you get a visa, and you go through interviews, and then if you fulfill the requirements, of course you get your visa, and then you buy your own ticket. And people migrate not only because of jobs. For example, people migrate because of tourism. People, I mean, even if it is temporary migration, people migrate because of education, for example. Not only that, but people move, of course, because of holiday. People move because of work, of course, what we call migrant workers. And people migrate also because of seeking better health services. Some health services are not available locally, for example, sophisticated health services, although now many countries are developing these services locally. So people go move because of different reasons, and so IOM promotes, I repeat, regular migration and not irregular migration, which entails, as usual, putting the lives of migrants in terrible situation, in dangerous situation, which most of the cases end up to lose their lives. And not only that, but to lose also what they made because of these traffickers who promise you, who make empty promise to people, but at the end of the day, or they may abandon you in a desert, they may abandon you in an ocean, they may abandon you, I don't know, in somewhere. As you may have seen, I mean, even on the Tanzanian TVs, many times, I mean, you see victims. I mean, people found dead. But this is, I mean, it's different from. But anyway, sometimes they get because these are part of people who traffic people, who smuggle people. So these are. I think it's very important to differentiate actually trafficking and smuggling. Trafficking is a deception actually. It means you are promised A, and then at the end of the day you get different things. You are promised a job. I mean, many, especially for women and children, and nowadays actually it's even the issue of human bodies actually. For example,
sex trafficking.
Sex because of sexual abuse. And
before you go on that area, maybe I can, before you're going to the break, maybe I want to know, human trafficking is a very, very big case now, and especially in developed country. According to your view, why these cases are very increasing, especially in Africa, from Africa?
As I mentioned, actually the major cause, really the major driving factor is really poverty. Poverty, but also how you call it, there is a, as you know, there is a very rapid growth of population in many countries, growth of population. So people, I mean, who complete their studies, I mean, they don't have the jobs that are required. So between the needs and demands, I mean, there is a difference between the needs, what people need, and what is available in the market. So people seek to look for, I mean, jobs in abroad, and so it's really the main reason is poverty. But as I said, people also look for just to go to other places to look for jobs, and but then there are these people who make empty promises, who deceive people, and who promise you to, for example, you are, I mean, it happens. For example, Tanzania is affected by both internal, because it could be even internally, the human trafficking, not necessarily it is transnational from Tanzania to a different country, but also from within the country in different places. You are told to come to Dar es Salaam, you will get, I don't know, a job, or certain
but
job.
Also but there is migration who they use Tanzania to bypass to go maybe in South Africa, like that.
Very right. This is what we call actually Tanzania, as per the different sources of information, is both country of origin, which means Tanzanians are trafficked, Tanzania is also a country of transit. It means non-Tanzanians, while they are trafficked, pass through Tanzania. It's also a country of destination. Many people, of course, come to Tanzania.
We have this case, especially from Somalia, Ethiopia. They just pass through.
This is what I was trying to say. I mean, we really need to differentiate between human trafficking and smuggling. These are predominantly, I mean, people who have been smuggled. They are smugglers and traffickers, actually. So the difference is really, one is the deception that you are told we will give you one thing, but then they give you something else at the end, which is terrible. That may cause even the lose of your life. Smuggling is really to assist you somehow with fake documents or with fake visas or with fake anything, or to hide you in containers or in under the lorries. I don't know. To many people lose lives. So to make you enter a different country that is not your country of origin, or that you don't have a visa or residence, then this is smuggling. So these both groups, actually both traffickers and smugglers, make a lot of money. And IOM actually appeals to all the nations not to punish the victims, I mean people who have been trafficked and the people who have been smuggled, but to punish really the smugglers and the traffickers. So, I mean, in general, we do not promote at all, both neither trafficking and IOM does not promote. IOM promote regular migration. But if it happens, then we really try to assist the victims, to talk to our member state, to jointly support these victims to return to their places of origin. Of course, if they are safe, because if the countries are affected by wars, for example, we cannot return people back to their home countries.
Okay.
So this is how I could summarize actually.
Mtazamaji wa NDIBATALK, tunakwenda mapumziko mafupi. Nipo hapa na mwakilishi mkazi wa shirika la Umoja wa Mataifa la wahamiaji, inaitwa International Organization for Migration. Usitoke kwenye TV yako. Tuna dakika 10 tu baada ya kutoka mapumziko. Tunasema uhalisia wetu, mazungumzo yetu ndani ya Star TV. Nipo hapa na mwakilishi mkazi wa International Organization for Migration. Hili ni shirika linalohusiana na masuala yote ya wahamaji ndani ya nchi yetu ya Tanzania. Dakika hizi 10 tuna mambo kama mawili matatu ya kuzungumza ya msingi kabisa, tuone ni kwa namna gani wao wana collaborate na Tanzania, hasa uhamiaji wetu sisi, kuhakikisha kwamba haya matatizo ya migration ndani ya nchi yetu yanapungua. Lakini pia hili shirika ni kwa namna moja ama nyingine linafanya kazi na Wizara ya Mambo ya Ndani kupitia ofisi ya uhamiaji kwa ukaribu mkubwa sana. Mwakilishi mkazi atatueleza kwa kikubwa zaidi ni kitu gani ambacho wanakifanya kupitia Wizara ya Mambo ya Ndani katika ushirikiano wao. Tumerudi tena. We have almost 10 minutes to discuss. As the international organization, you try almost to fight for how to eradicate this problem in your country. So maybe the Tanzanian people who are watching NDIBATALK now, they would like to know, how do you collaborate with the government of Tanzania?
Thank you so much, Gertrude. And this is a very pertinent question. Actually, IOM was officially nominated by the government of Tanzania as the technical advisor to the Anti-Trafficking Secretariat and Committee since 2011. So it's almost now 10 years that IOM is working with the government, with the Secretariat. So our main partner, let me put it, from the government is the Ministry of Home Affairs. And especially actually the Secretariat, Ministry of Home Affairs, because migration involved different departments within the Ministry of Ministry of Home Affairs, but especially the Immigration Department. So we work really closely, very closely with the Department of Immigration within the Ministry of Home Affairs. But when it comes now to human trafficking, we work also human smuggling, as I mentioned. We work then also with Department of Prison, with police, with the statistics, and so almost all the 5 departments, let me put it, of Ministry of Home Affairs in the country. Why immigration, for example? We said IOM promotes regular migration. So it means if it is irregular, then it becomes, because the Constitution of the United Republic of Tanzania says if you enter the country irregularly, then you have either to pay, a fine, or then if you don't have money, then you land in detention. So this is how then the Department comes in, Department of Prison comes into the issue. So, and we have really an excellent collaboration. I'm very grateful in the support that we receive from the government of Tanzania, and especially from the Ministry of Home Affairs, because we have been given access to visit the centers, the detention centers, where we visit the migrants and to know their situations, those who have completed, also to facilitate their return to their places of origin. I repeat, if the places of origin are safe. For example, as you correctly mentioned, for example, if someone is from Somalia, for example, since Somalia is affected by bad, how you call it, war in some places, not everywhere actually. So we cannot return people to that. So, and of course the government understands and supports. So we have an excellent collaboration. Not only that, but as I mentioned, IOM is the United Nations Migration Agency, and it is a member of the United Nations country team. So there is a plan, 5 years plan, that started from 2016 to 2021, which is called United Nations Development Action Plan 2, because there was one before 5 years. And this IOM is part of the United Nations Development Action Plan 2. And as the United Migration Agency, beside, sensitizing the Tanzanian citizens about human trafficking and smuggling, beside providing a lot of training to all agencies involved in fighting against, especially the Ministry of Home Affairs, the Secretariat, providing technical support, working with national NGOs like Water Sawa, for example, that we work closely. IOM, within this framework of UNDAP 2, or United Nations Development Action Plan 2, is at the moment running a shelter actually of victims of trafficking, or trafficked victims in Kigoma regions. And it is in Kasulu, where then victims, once they have been, how we call it, rescued, let me put it like that, then are accommodated until they get, reunited with their families. These families could be within Tanzania, or could be, for example, from, so it is internal trafficking and transnational trafficking.
In terms of to assist that victim, where do you get funds?
Very pertinent question. Actually, the fund, for example, for this special project, that it is within the UNDAP 2, there are 2 countries actually that are funding at the moment. It is Norway and Sweden. So IOM is a technical agency actually. IOM has got the technical know-how, but is not a donor agency. Always when we come across a problem, a migration problem that needs to be addressed, or we are approached by the government, then we also approach the different donors and explain to them, and we provide them the technical know-how. So IOM is not a donor, but a technical agency. So as I said, these victims, trafficking is really a violation of human rights, basic. This includes, for example, your liberty. Let's say you are trafficked to a different country. The first thing they do, the traffickers, is to take your document, for example, your travel document, your passport or anything with the visa. So you are, stranded. You cannot move. If you get out, maybe the police will catch you and put you in prison and so on. You don't know anyone. You are. Not only that, but if it was limited to that, to the liberty only, but then they try also to abuse you, both physically and if you are a woman, for example, you may sexual abuse, and there is a psychological, and in the worst scenarios, they may even want to take your organs. For example, in many places lately, really they try to get, let's say, kidneys, I don't know, livers, heart, God knows, eyes, all the things to go and give to those rich patients who want to have this organ. So it's absolutely human trafficking is violation of human rights. So in Tanzania, I repeat, we work with the secretariats of anti-human trafficking. We provide technical support, we provide training, we provide also material support. We work with NGOs, national NGOs. We establish a shelter, in Kasulu at the moment, but we have the intention also to establish
in terms of medical,
because most of the victims, just imagine, as they may have been abused sexually. Also, of course, it involves counseling first of all, to counsel the person, because once you have been physically abused against your will, you will have also some psychological problems. So we first of all to address, because what we say, health is not only the absence of disease, but it's the well-being, how we call it, physical, psychological well-being. We need to establish the person to feel that she is herself, because sometimes you have been put under a lot of threat and beaten maybe and abused. So, and then we make sure that they did not contract some communicable diseases, as you know, that could be from all STDs, sexual transmittable diseases.
Unemployment is a very, very big problem in each country, especially in Africa. And most of the youth, they move from one country to another because of having some idea. Maybe they get some job when they're going there. So what is your view as the chief executive?
Absolutely, this is again another pertinent question. The global strategies of IOM, to fight against, let me put it, irregular migration, because all these things, all human trafficking, human smuggling, fall under the irregular migration. Two main strategies is really to address the root causes, which is the most difficult, because every country has got its peculiarity, and IOM, for example, is not mandated in political issues. There are some other UN agencies but IOM is the UN Migration Agency. So we try to address the root causes together, of course, with the government. The root causes that is pushing people to leave their countries of origin. So this involves really, creating opportunities in their home countries so that they don't leave. But as I said, this is not. It goes beyond our mandate as the United Nations Migration Agencies, and it is multi-partner, starting from the government and from all developmental partners as UNDP and others, to create opportunities so that people are not pushed or not tempted to leave their places of origin. The other one, as I said, once they fall in this trap of traffickers, they pay, they do everything, and they are put on small boats. For example, a boat that can carry 50 people, they put 200 people, and then it capsizes. So of course IOM get involved in rescuing the victims, so to save lives, so that and then once the victims that have been identified and rescued, if they wish to go back to their home countries, IOM support is called assisted voluntary return, not only return but also reintegration. In the reintegration is an entire package that involves a lot. It depends on your skills. Let's say you know how to make, furniture, so IOM supports you really when you go back home to restart to exercise your skills, provide you maybe a bit of money, a bit of technical support, so that you can restart. Is a cycle, which is very difficult to break. It is not, it needs really the collaboration of many partners. It needs the collaboration, and imagine most of the cases are family members actually, just imagine, because they have been promised. Yesterday, I remember there was a very nice sketch during when we were celebrating the event, and someone coming and advising the mother that he is going to take her two daughters to study, and at the end of the day, she took the two daughters to a place of prostitution, for example, and so they are family members, really, just imagine, and who are so education, sensitization, explaining it's something that needs a joint effort, not only one agency or one institution or one country. It's the whole world that has to come together to address.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mtazamaji wa NDIBATALK, nilikuwa na mwakilishi mkazi wa International Organization for Migration, Dr. Qasim. Tupo hapa tumezungumza masuala yote kuhusiana na shirika lao, lakini mwisho wa kipindi hiki cha leo ndio mwanzo wa kipindi ambacho kinafuata wiki ijayo. Mitandao yangu ya kijamii inapita hapo chini, usiache kulike, kunipigia simu na kadhalika. Nashukuru sana kwa kufika.
Thank you so much. Thank you.